We have had really mixed success with the early carrot crops so far this year. In one of the polytunnels, we grew 4 batches of carrots as part of the quick spring crops, sowing each batch about 2 or 3 weeks apart, starting at the end of January. It took a while for these plants to grow, at least compared to the faster growing salads and other root crops. We had to delay transplanting a few of the tomato and pepper plants that were waiting for their space in the beds, but these carrots eventually grew big enough to get a decent yield out of the space. There are still a few carrots in one batch that we are almost finished harvesting, and the pepper plants waiting for the space are still doing okay in the grow bags. There was a bit of rat damage to a few of the carrots, and a few carrot fly larvae were in some of the later roots, but overall we were really impressed with these early crops of carrots in the polytunnel. But it has been completely different results with the outside crops of early carrots that we grew as part of the quick rotation crops in the beds between the 2 polytunnels. The earliest batch that we had sown was growing quite well until we noticed some of the leaves discoloring, which can be a sign of significant carrot root fly damage. By the time we pulled out the roots, they were riddled with lots of larvae from this pest, and the younger batches of carrots were also affected, as well as having issues with poor germination during the sunny, dry period that we had earlier in the spring. So we removed all of the carrot plants from this area and boiled all the roots to kill off the larvae to reduce the population of this pest. We only left one small patch of carrot seedlings that was the last to be sown and seemed to have germinated late enough to not be affected by this first generation of carrot fly this spring. We plan to leave these few plants as a possible trap crop for the next generation of this pest. We should have covered all of these batches of carrots outside to keep out the carrot fly, but with everything else going on in the polytunnels at the time, we had been distracted from these outside beds. We are continuing to sow a succession of batches of fast maturing carrot varieties in these beds, but we'll have to wait until later in the summer before we can harvest any more carrots, assuming we can protect them from the next generation of carrot fly.